stream this morning, starting at about 8 a.m. Yeah, I'm just outside the Navajo Nation reservation.
Hello guys, how are you? Today I woke up late. I'm sorry guys. But I'm here again. For a new opportunity to this to May 27th. Let's get it. Currently on AMES, we just see a big move. That spike at 7 a.m. from $6 to wow, that's crazy. I miss this whole move. This one too. Let's see. Micro pullback, micro pullback. Goes down. I miss this whole move. So I'm just gonna be with it right now. Just waiting right now.
$15. So we did get a nice move on that, but you'll notice the absence of news. Now my trade on MNTS is interesting because that is trading with a catalyst, and the catalyst there is that they do work with SpaceX. So they're contracted with SpaceX, and so um, this is a little interesting that this one failed, squeezed up and then double top and rejected coming back down. But in any case, it is what it is. So for those of you guys tuning in perhaps for the first time on YouTube, I used to do these live streams. During the pandemic, I was doing them pretty much every day. And then when the pandemic ended or whatever this would say, uh, I stopped doing the live stream. So I still stream every day for members at Warrior Trading. And those I'm streaming right now for those members as well. But I don't stream on YouTube on a daily basis. I do upload my recap each day. So this gives you guys a little bit of a kind of like view behind the curtain of what it's like in the chat room and what it would be like as a member. Now, I'm out here because we had the Memorial Day weekend. So we had a holiday
Wow.
on Monday to honor the men and women who served our country here. And, it's I thought that that was kind of it's an interesting time to come out here because there's we sort of have a country within our country that has been, I think, left behind in a lot of ways, and I wanted to see if I could do something to learn more about what life is like here. As I mentioned earlier, my mom spent a lot of time here in the 70s and always talked really fondly about her experience. So this is something I've been wanting to do for quite a while. And being out here is really eye-opening. It's very different from the East Coast, as all of you who already live out here are well aware. And I feel very privileged to be able to sit down, connect my Starlink or whatever, it is at the time, get connected to the internet, punch some buttons, and make, the amount of money that I've been able to make. So being up
BCAG.
$23,000 today, I mean, this
Nice
could
daily
easily
trade.
be a full year of work income um, for someone around here who is not, didn't fall into the situation that I fell into, which, is that's the luck of the draw, and there's nothing you can do to control that. But when you're as fortunate as I feel that I am, certainly there's people that are much more fortunate than me, and whatever. But when you have some degree of success,
Just waiting right now.
I think it's important to give it back. And so one of the goals that I have this year is donating to a children's hospital in every state in the United States, so all 50 states. And I'm at 21 right now, so I've donated to all the states in New England and kind of, moving down. And now I've gotten hospitals here in Utah, Arizona, and New Mexico that serve um, people that live on the Navajo reservation. And a lot of this is part of the small account challenge that I'm doing, which is going to begin next week. So many of you guys know that the pattern day trader rule, which has been in place since February 27, 2001, is going away. And so as that goes away, we're expecting a bit of a change in the market. So I'm going to start a small account challenge.
China biotechnology.
I've already decided on a broker, but I haven't announced it yet.
Nope.
And that'll begin, well, we'll see officially what day the broker unlocks trading, but if not Thursday or Friday, then maybe Monday the following week. So, and we do have our Memorial Day sale here at Warrior Trading, and that ends tonight at midnight, Eastern Standard Time. And so for those of you guys who've been tuning in on YouTube, watching from the sidelines, I think this would be a really fun summer to become a member of Warrior Trading. We've got this change in the PDT rule. We've got just so much going on. So I hope you guys will check out the link that's in the description to join during the Memorial Day sale and enjoy this free broadcast here today on YouTube. So thanks again for hitting the thumbs up. I'm going to be streaming here until probably about 9 a.m. We'll probably stream for about an hour. And I may trade, I may not trade. It'll depend on whether or not a good opportunity presents itself. But I'll give you guys my market commentary as we go. All right, so you guys who are just tuning in, feel free
I
to
don't
share
see
the link,
anything right now.
for the feed with some friends if you'd like, who you think might be interested in tuning in and watching as well.
NCEL.
I neglected to put on my sunscreen. I may find that that was a mistake. Of course, it's not very sunny just yet, but I'll give you guys another look at the view. I'll sit on this side, that way I've got my microphone. I had a, there you go. So, it's been very nice out here. A lot of hiking, a lot of things to do. I think it's hard on the video to really capture the vastness. So as you can see here, MNTS, a little bit of volatility, popping up and dropping back down. So let's just see what this headline is. So pricing of a $25 million private placement. Usually I like the private placement catalyst. But the price action is not really telling me that I should be a buyer here. So although the catalyst is nice, I'm not going to take that trade right now. So
I like this one. I like the daily on this
for
one.
the most part. I'm not going to go well, I'll go full screen on this. When I'm trading, you'll see my P&L behind there, but my process each morning generally is I sit down and I look at the leading gainers. We've got a leading gainer right now that's a little bit cheaper. I skip over that. It also has no volume. AMSS, this is a stock that popped up with no news this morning, and it suddenly went from about $4 to $15, $16 a share. Didn't expect it, but man, that thing ripped. So got a little trade on that. QTTB, this one's hitting our scanners right now. It's also announcing a private placement. Currently forming on the 5-minute a tweezer top. So you have those two candles, both with topping tails. So they've got the little pinchers. You don't want to get pinched by the tweezer, right? That's going to hurt. What those topping tails represent is that while the stock squeezed up, it came back down. Squeezed up and came back down. So that inherently is showing that there's some bearishness there. It doesn't mean it couldn't work. It could. On the 1 minute, it's showing a little bit more support in this area. But I generally have a hard time buying when you've got a big topping tail like that because I worry about a pretty big rejection.
Here we go.
So that's probably not going to be an easy one for me. I'll just pull up the level 2 and look at it more closely. Now, when it comes to level 2, I don't stream my level 2, generally speaking, because this is market data you have to pay for. But I'll just show you right here. You see how this shows it big E? That means the stock is easy to borrow. And when a stock is easy to borrow, usually, at least initially, when it starts to pull away, there's more people who are going to short it because it's free to borrow. You don't have to pay anything to locate shares. So when a stock is free to borrow, people like to short it. One of the challenges with short selling is accessibility of shares and the cost of shares. So shares sometimes are available, but they're very expensive to borrow. Although oftentimes on small caps, they're not available. So in the case of this stock, shares are available. You can borrow it. And it shows that you can use leverage as well. That 25% right in the corner there, that means you can use 4 times leverage. Now, if we switch to AMSS just for a second.
I don't know.
AMSS
this stock is weird.
Shows that it's on L for locate, which means it's not easy to borrow. It's on
CB,
which is short sale restriction. And it requires 300% margin in order to trade it, which means if you wanted to short $10,000 worth, you would need 30,000, 3x, in your account to support the short position as a margin requirement. They have those higher margin requirements because the clearing firm is worried that this is the type of stock that could go up 300% and you could end up getting smoked on it. And so they want to make sure you've got enough money in your account to tolerate it going up against you before suddenly your account is going into the, and then the broker is on the hook until you can pay them back. So the underlying kind of structure of these stocks that can really affect whether or not they can squeeze include the float, the number of shares available to trade, whether or not it's easy to borrow or hard to borrow, the margin requirements, the cost to borrow if it is hard to borrow, because sometimes you have a stock that's hard to borrow and it's really cheap, and sometimes it's hard to borrow and it's really expensive. You also have the short interest, which is the total number of shares available or that are currently held short against the stock. And then you do have the available inventory. So I'm going to pull up a website for you guys here for 1 second. This is called Ortex. And I started using this during the pandemic. This is a company, their primary offering is that they provide, I'm going to put it on screen share in a second, I just got to get logged in. Their primary offering is that they provide access to what they say is nearly real-time short interest. And so that short interest tells us with a lot of detail how many people are holding the stock short, against the total float. So if you have a float of, let's just say, 1 million shares, and 700,000 shares are being held to the short side, that means you've got 70% short interest. So let's look at QTTB, just for instance. So on this one, short interest is 5.7%. Only 7% of the available shares to short are being currently shorted. And the cost to borrow is up about 8% in the last 30 days. So it's not that significant. Let's look at MNTS. So MNTS, this one's a little bit different. Short interest is 12%. The
I'm just waiting right
utilization,
now.
however, is 89%. So that means there's not a lot of shares available to borrow on this. So that's interesting. But because the total interest is only 12%, you wouldn't probably be able to get a real short squeeze on it because the short interest won't be, 70, 80% or higher. Anyway, so I reference this site occasionally when I'm trying to figure out if a stock is a contender or has potential to give us a short squeeze. Now, by the way, for those of you guys tuning in, just in the middle of this broadcast, welcome. I am streaming today from the desert, just outside the Navajo Reservation, and all of today's profits are getting donated to hospitals that service the people that live on the reservation, and I'm also going to be donating to a nonprofit that is working to expand access to water, drinking water on the reservation. You guys may or may not know this, but beginning around the 1950s, the United States did a lot of uranium mining here in this area. A huge amount there was over 500 uranium mines on the reservation. And although mining has been banned since the early 2000s, a lot of the mines were not properly, I don't know what the right word is, but decommissioned, cleaned of radioactive material. And so a lot of the drinking water is contaminated, on average with 4 times the amount of radioactive isotopes than what you would consider to be standard, but with some places being even much higher than that. So the rates of cancer and illnesses and things like that higher, which is why I wanted to do donations to the hospitals, especially thinking about pediatric children's hospitals. But donating the children's hospitals, is good, and I'm grateful to do that. But I also feel like, is there a way that I can help with sort of the actual cause of some of these issues? There's only so much any one person can do. But donating today's profits I think for drinking water is one step in the right direction. All right, so let's see. So it's about 5:15 here, local time. I've been up since 3:30.
Just waiting.
So as I had mentioned, those of you guys tuning in, you're welcome to hit the thumbs up. Anyone that hits the thumbs up, I'll add an extra $1 to how much I donate. And of course, if you want to do direct donations to hospitals in this area or these nonprofits, you're of course more than welcome to do that. I think that's a wonderful idea. So I am on my laptop here. This is my traveling trading station. It's pretty basic, and I really don't need that much. I've had time. I flew somewhere, and I remember this happening a couple years ago. I flew on a vacation, got there, and realized I had forgotten my charging cable. Ugh. And so I call all the computer stores, I need a new charging cable. And none of them have it because I'm using this Falcon F30. It's got a very specific charging cable. And so I said, you know what, just I'll just buy a laptop. And I bought a laptop for, it was like $1,500. And that week I made about $60,000. And then I gave away the laptop at the end of the week. I didn't need it anymore. The laptop is a tool. The laptop is not, it doesn't matter how good of a laptop you have. It's not, how good the tool is really. It's your skill to be able to use it. And so one of the things that I, work towards doing is helping provide you guys, certainly members of Warrior Trading, but also those of you guys on YouTube, with, insight into the strategy that I trade every day. So you can begin testing it out and implementing it in your own trading. But as always, I put up my disclaimer as a reminder that that trading is risky and that my results are not typical. I have been trading for a long time. I funded my first account in 2001. It was 25 years ago. So, I've been doing this for a long time. And, the fact is, I've seen a lot of traders come and go. And when we think about the leading causes of failure as traders, and I'll move aside so you can enjoy the view for a few minutes. When I think about the leading causes of failure here as a trader, the things that I really am noticing for a lot of people, this up a little bit. Number one, trading with a lack of strategy. So number one is skill. Ultimately, how much you make will be limited by your skill. And so if you don't have a lot of skill, you won't be able to make money. That's number one. Number two is the market. You've got to understand the market you're in. Some markets are incredibly strong, and you can be incredibly aggressive. And, you can even be a little sloppy and still make some money because the markets are just so darn strong. But when they're not that strong, you need to be able to adjust and pivot. And that's something a lot of beginner traders struggle with. They might get a strategy dialed in and make good money when the market's hot, but then when things cool down, they give back everything they made. So they're not really able to adapt to changing markets. Number three, third reason traders fail, they lack discipline. Having the discipline, number one, to trade with a level of risk that's appropriate for your skill, to trade based on the market you're in, not the market you want to be in, to know when to walk away each day, whether you're red or green. It's a skill that requires a lot of refinement, and it's something that requires a high degree of practice and emotional intelligence, and it's discipline that you have to build within yourself. So building that discipline is something that you've got to work towards. And I actually uploaded an episode just, I think it was last week, about the different reasons traders fail. So you guys are welcome to check that out if you'd like. I go into a little bit more detail, but I think that trading is one of those things that you've got to survive till you thrive. And you've got to do everything you can to avoid blowing up your account prematurely. But ultimately what a lot of traders do is they come in, they go big, and they might have some beginner's luck, but ultimately that approach of going big ends up burning them out. And I really don't want to see that happen for you guys. So that means slow down, practice a simulator, and treat this as a marathon, not a sprint. So can I show my trade on AMSS? Yep, I can show it. So I started this morning on MNTS. That was the first stock I traded. And I traded this right at 7 a.m. I still managed to lose on it, but I got in right here at 7 a.m., but I kept adding as it went higher. I thought this thing was really going to explode. And as it came back down, I stopped out and took a loss. So I was disappointed by that, but I lost 1,600 on the first trade. And then I got back in as it came back up here. Let's see, let me just move this pointer, sorry. I got back in right here, and then I lost again on it. So the first loss was $1,600. My max loss on the day is $5,000. I didn't hit my max loss, so I kept trading. And then AMSS hit my scanners. Now, I actually had my scanners on mute. Even though they have audio alerts, I had my scanners on mute. So this is the bell you can click, and you can turn them on. Well, I had my whole system on mute, so I didn't hear the alert as it started to hit. If we go back here, AMSS first hit the scanner at, I think I hit it earlier than that. Let's go back here. first alert was at $5.56. Granted, the volume was light at that time, and there was no news on it, but that's when it first hit that scanner. We might have gotten an alert on the running up scanner sooner, but in any case, I'm not going to scroll back for it. So it hits the scanner, it starts squeezing up a little bit, and it ends up giving us this first pop all the way up here to a high of 10. And so my first entry was on that pullback right there, and I made $7,000. So with that, I was up $5,000 on the day after my loss from the first trade. Then it pulls back, and I get back in right here for the curl through the new high, and I bought this little pullback right here, and my final trade was right here. And this was actually my biggest position of the day. At that point, I had the most conviction. I felt like I was moving in the right direction, and so I was looking for that squeeze higher, and it stalled out. And I got out with, I think it's actually a small profit, but it could have been easily a loss. And so then I said, all right, I'm not getting back in this. I'm going to leave it alone. And so with that, that was my last trade, and that was at about 7:22. So now it's been 1 hour exactly since my last trade. Now, I don't love it when I end up having these kind of long, periods of no trades, like an hour. I would rather be taking trades every few minutes, like it kind of keeps me like very active. But just as it sits right now, things have cooled off a bit. I have a monitor on the ground here. I'm going to look this up. This, by the way, is my portable USB monitor. So I just plug it into the USB cable, and then just like that, I've got my extra monitor here. So let's see, where are we at with thumbs up? So we're at 1,200 thumbs up right now, which is going to be $1,200. So that'll put us up to about 25,000 that we're donating today for the Navajo Nation. All right, so let's see. So AMSS, that's out of play right now. MNTS. Had that pop, the drop, and sort of sideways. I think what we might be best off doing at the moment is waiting to see if we have something that comes out with breaking news. One of the challenges with continuing to trade a stock like MNTS or AMSS is that at a certain point, it kind of feels like I'm trading the backside of the move. That we've already had, we've already had the big pop, and now it's just not as strong. I'm worried about that. So my small account challenge, as a reminder, the plan is that it'll begin at the end of next week. It is dependent on the brokers enabling trading without the $25,000 minimum, because I'm going to be resetting the account to $2,000. In fact, my account's already at $2,000. I've already set it to that. It's with a different broker. But right now it says I'm restricted from trading because I'm below the pattern day trader minimum. So I'm hoping that they're supposed to lift the minimum on Thursday, June 4th. And so Thursday, June 4th could be day one of the small account challenge. But it's possible that it'll not be till Friday the 5th or even Monday the 6th, 7th, 8th. But it really depends on the broker. So the interesting things, I think, with this small account challenge is because it's not a cash account, I'm not restricted to one trade per day the way I typically would be, in the past when I've used a US broker. So I can take a lot of trades each day, but is that the right decision, to take 30, 40 trades in one day? Well, with a commission-free broker, I could. I'm not sure that that's the right move. I think that what would be better is being patient, waiting to find one stock that's strong. And then today, for instance, today I've got about 15 trades on AMSS, and I think that that would be okay if I have 15 trades one day and then maybe no trades the next day. Um, but if I'm focusing not on the number of trades I need to take each day, but on waiting to find the strongest stocks each day and then being aggressive on those. So it looks like we've got about 2,300 people streaming here on YouTube. So thank you guys for tuning in. Again, all of today's profits is getting donated to the Navajo Nation here in Arizona, New Mexico, and Utah. And I'm adding an extra $1 for each of you guys that hit the thumbs up. So I hope we could pretty easily get $2,300 from all of you guys hitting the thumbs up. And that'll get us up towards $26,000 that we're donating today. So we have about 2.5 minutes to the bottom of the hour. By the way, I should mention that for those of you guys on YouTube, YouTube inherently has a little bit of latency. For our members at Warrior Trading, where I'm streaming right now as well, I'm using an ultra low latency streaming server. We custom built our software. This is the software that we use that you can see on screen share here. The chat room is one of the windows inside this platform, so you can open the different chat rooms and see my broadcast. So the broadcast coming through here, our platform is a little bit faster than what you get on YouTube. So if I do end up taking any trades here this morning, just know that what you hear is going to be a little bit delayed. So make sure you're not trying to blindly follow me. You should never do that anyways, but just as a reminder, make sure you're looking at the stock if you like it and executing the trade based on what you see right in front of you. Trade the chart in the level 2 right in front of you. Don't just blindly follow me or anyone else. Now, there's a lot of people out there that send out like text and email alerts, and they're trying to encourage you just to blindly follow them. And I'm against that. I don't think that that's a good recipe for long-term success. By the time you get the text alert, open your trading window. I mean, your minutes could be several minutes behind the initial entry from the alert. And if that alert is going to thousands of people, many people may have bought before you, and so you're kind of playing a game of chasing. And I just don't think that's a recipe for long-term success. So I would advise against doing that. And I am trying to keep my voice down a little bit. It's still almost 5:30 here.
We're gonna have news right now.
All right, so we've got 30 seconds to the bottom of the hour. So as we approach the bottom of the hour, the scanners that I'm looking closely at are
That's the
over on this
short seller. No restriction
my
for short
top
sellers.
gainer scanner, my small cap high day momentum scanner, and my top gainers scanner.
Resistance right here.
So I look to see
right
if something
here.
starts moving on these scanners right
know.
after the bottom of the hour, because then there's a high likelihood that it's moving because there is some type of breaking news.
QTB popping back up. It's hard to borrow.
So ASTI was sitting the scanner before the bottom of the hour. This is a solar company. I'm not really that interested in solar right now.
This one struggles to like just go up a little bit. Like there's a lot of short sellers.
Now AGPU is popping up. It's got a 10 million share float, as you can see right there. It also has very light volume.
So I'm just gonna wait.
ASTC is popping up.
ASTC. ASTC. No restriction for short sellers. We have resistance at 376. So if we get above it, I'm interested. Oh wow. Big move.
Looks like my feed is buffering just a little bit.
420.
Running a broadcast to 2 places. at the same time is probably slowing things down for me just a smidge.
Added 429. Taking profit. Take some profit.
So I'm still mentally on East Coast time, so it's not really a big deal for me to get up early.
I didn't take a lot of profit, to be honest. Wow, look at that rejection. But that I took profit. It was a really small trade. ASTC, what are the news?
So yeah, I'm gonna watch ASTC.
Technology, hardware. Nice.
But when you see big sellers, that does throw me off a little bit.
I'm just gonna wait right now. Double top. High days 460.
Firefox browser.
470. 466.
Slowing things down a little bit here for some reason.
Next resistance line is at
auto.
646. So we got a little room.
So what we're experiencing here is called a micro pullback. I'm gonna buy the dip down here. And I'm looking for a quick pop back through. I would like to see this pop back through 450. So watching over 445, added there, and now looking for a squeeze through 5. And I take a little profit off the table as we get up towards $5 a share. So that's a 24,000 share position.
Taking profit.
I always want to make sure I pay myself as it starts pushing higher. So I took my profit off just as we approached $5. That's a technical setup called a 1-minute micro pullback. So now I'm going to watch to see if there's another trade. So now we're at $35,000 donating to the Navajo Nation today.
Rejection on the 1 minute. Let's see what it does.
I'm going to take a little more off the table. But watching this. So what I like to do on the second trade.
Nice.
So added back here for the break of 550 and looking for a squeeze up towards 6. So over 585 is the next add for me. Added there. Oops, so now big seller comes in, so I take my profit off the table. So I had profit there, but I ended up selling that for
so I'm like confused.
a loss. Not a big loss, but a small loss. Because all of a sudden a big seller came in there right around 575. So I just move out of the way. I just jump back out, and I can get right back in. You know, if this goes right back to 575 or 6, that's fine. But if it's not going to hold that level, then I just got to step off. So I pay attention to those big sellers. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go take a quick look at the SEC filing on this.
Just let it pull back.
So see, there's a 20,000 share seller there.
Look at this candle in the 5 minute. Wow.
So Astro Tech Corporation. So
I don't see the news. What's wrong?
So looking at their P&L. So they are losing money.
Okay, so it's related to SpaceX.
They do have some assets.
We've seen a little theme of that.
It can be a challenge trying to do this due diligence while trading at the same time.
Yeah.
So as we sit right now,
I want to see it pulling away.
We have a high here in the 70s, but we note on the 10-second how we dipped down before we curled back up.
Big seller on the level 2,
so
right there.
Astro Tech Board approves strategic initiative focused on lunar resource development, autonomous lunar institutional or industrial infrastructure, and future moon-based advanced computing. So I would say the catalyst is probably piggybacking a little bit on SpaceX, but that doesn't mean it's going to work super well or hold up super well.
84.
So very minimal revenue,
rejection.
a lot of expense, loss in
So
operations. How much cash do they
it's
have?
gonna be waiting right now. Let it pull back.
So cash and short-term investments.
I
So now
was
let's go
looking
back
for
and
an
see if they
ad
have a shelf registration.
um
They do.
on
It was filed in
88,
January.
but it never went
Gives
to
them the right to
88.
raise
It
$30
went to
million
85,
by
87.
selling shares. So now let's check the cost to borrow on this. So in my platform right here, I can do a short locate, and I can locate shares and see how expensive it is. So I'm just going to do a short request on ASTC
Had
and
it.
see what the price is. Is it cheap or is it expensive?
Here we go. 15. I'm looking
So
for a
technically that was
squeeze
another
higher.
1 minute micro pullback,
Oh,
although
big
I was
seller
a
on the
little
level 2.
hesitant
I saw
about
it
it.
500,000. Let's see. Oh, it's not breaking. I'm calling the trade. It's not breaking. Big seller on the
Cost to
level 2.
borrow is between 5 and 12 cents a share right now.
Break even trade.
So it's a little expensive.
Nice bailing out quickly. Just waiting. Hidden sellers. Big selling order on level 2. Just watching. 85, double bottom.
So our current high day is 644. Just checking the short interest ASTC. So
I don't
short
know.
interest shows only
I
3%.
was gonna
Cost
ask for
to
a
borrow
deal
is up
right there, but I don't know.
166%. Utilization's 11%. So it's not from a technical perspective showing that it's a short squeeze, but the longer it holds up and doesn't roll over, there may be more opportunities. So the question is, where is support, and where would be the next breakout spot? So obviously a
Nice.
trade through the high of day is aggressive. There's more risk on that. We're up 155%, which makes this our third leading gainer. I'm going to take a little starter here for just a quick squeeze through the $0.50, and then new
Wow.
order goes up at the highs.
Steady goes up and
So
then
one of the things
rejects
I
really
try to
quickly.
do is I try to pay myself a little bit when I get a profit
So it's
and then
difficult.
add back. So I took half off the table.
Top intel on the 1 minute.
Now we've got a seller that came out at 39. I can see the seller, by the way, on the level 2. So if you're not using level 2 market data, you're really at a disadvantage, because I can see when big sellers pop up. You'll see them, like a 30,000 share seller. It'll show 300, but you'll see when those sellers pop up. So the top of that candle went all the way up towards 7, but then pulled back. So see that seller there at 37 or 40? That's what I was looking at.
Big selling
So I'm
order
going to
on
move
the
this
level
back to
2
my
right
other
there.
monitor. You've got to subscribe to your own market data subscription. So watching down here potentially for another
Let's see what
dip,
is support.
So watching, right now only holding 1,500 shares, so it's a smaller position for me. Slightly red on it, but so I just got out the rest of that break even. I'm going to just give it a little bit more time. It has range, it is moving, but I would like to see it holding up a little bit better. So as of right now, we now have raised $38,957.47
It's really difficult. I
for
don't
the
really know where
Navajo
to trade it.
Nation,
Why?
not
Because it
including the
goes
thumbs up
up
that you
and then
guys
rejects quickly.
have added. So good job.
642.
Alts is going to charity, as I mentioned earlier.
I don't know because it's the third pullback, so that might be like all the.
So I am trading right now in the desert, just outside the reservation. It's 5:40 in the morning. They've been trading and up since about 3:30. The sun is rising in the background. So ASTC, that's also a great example of a stock with breaking news, right? We got breaking news on it. Is it the most um,
I
is
was
it the
gonna
most
do a deep, but I don't
exciting
know.
move I've
I
ever
don't
seen?
really
No,
know
it's
this
not. But
stock.
it's not bad. That's a decent move. We've got some decent volume on it. I also want to remind everyone that our Memorial Day sales are ending tonight at midnight, and then that'll be the end of the special discounts that we have on our Warrior Starter and our Warrior Pro memberships. Um, so ASTC right now.
Just waiting right now.
So you can see how the 5-minute chart is pretty extended. We had that big candle that pushed up. So right now I'm just going to sit tight and wait a second. I'm going to grab some sunscreen.
Yeah, I'll be back. I don't know. I don't really know. The thing with ASTC is that like, have you guys seen like how it goes up and then goes down really quickly? So like when I'm gonna take profit, when it's like, I don't know, like I think it's really risky and like it's an A quality setup. I just think the price action is difficult. I'm gonna take another right here.
Okay, so it looks like we've got another rally back up.
Just holding right now. Here we go. And then still south. It's like,
So I
oh
usually
my
approach the second
god.
rally being a little bit cautious, but what a nice pop through 7.
I wanna take some
So
profit.
no second trade on that just yet. Our new high day is 774.
Nice.
I had my hand kind of on the buy button, but I hesitated. I had just sat back down, so I kind of missed that. Just the way it goes sometimes.
Now it's pulling away, guys. Now it's game time. waiting for the next ad.
I'm just looking at daily resistance levels. Hopefully some of you guys got that
Nice.
trade without me.
Nice rally.
If I hadn't gotten up to get sunscreen, I would have gotten it. So my
Just waiting right now. Let's see what he does.
pale complexion. So now that's a little rejection up at the top.
Right here is selling out, so I might do a dip. Let's see, let's wait. Alright,
So
let's
our
see.
next opportunities for news, realistically, for like a new stock would be 9 a.m.
I'm low-key fucked.
You know, again, there's that 30,000 share seller that's coming out, kind of pushing it
Yeah.
back down.
Low-key, I was trying to do a dip right here, and he rejected. And then, yeah. It's alright though.
So let's see where we're at with thumbs up here on YouTube. I had mentioned that all of today's profits are getting donated to charity, to the Navajo Nation here. I'm just outside the reservation right now, but so I'm gonna donate $38,957 today, which is my trading profits, and then you guys who are
Where's
hitting
our
the thumbs up,
next trade?
those are all gonna add to $1 for every thumbs up.
My D's crossing.
So I hope you guys are enjoying this broadcast. My goal is, while I'm streaming, to give you market commentary, to share with you my insights, you know, really the way I look at trading, which is, you know, through my own lens. I've got a particular strategy that I trade, and so it may not be for everyone, but you know, it works well for me. So we're on another pullback here. I sort of like the idea. I'm going to do a little dip down here off of support. I just want to see if this can curl back through 35 and 40. So I've got my starter at 712 and now watching over 735.
No.
But see how you have that seller that pushes it down? So what I was trying to do here is figure out if this is the base, if this is support, which is it reclaims 7? I think that's a good thing. So now watching 725. So there's 716, 726. I'm going to unwind it. You know, I think I might have the right idea. I might just be a little early. It seems like it's struggling a little bit right there.
My D's crossing.
So went red on that by about 2,500, came back up, got out about break even. What I was looking at is that it feels like it's basing out under right above 7. So I thought if it holds 7, then at what point, you know, should I be watching this to pull away a little bit more?
We see like there's like a little support right here. Watch this. Tune, tune, tune. Like straight around. That could be support. Low key. Like right now, it could be support. Looks like respecting the line.
Oh, sorry. So I was just saying we're at about 2,300 thumbs up on YouTube. So thank you guys who have hit that thumbs up.
Gracias, mami. Gracias. Now it's selling off. Wow.
So, at the moment, this feels like it's kind of rolling over. The MACD is curling negative. I don't know if we're going to get more on this. That might be it for right now. And that would be fine if that's the case. You see how the MACD's gone negative, dipping back down. So we're coming up to about 1 hour on the broadcast. My plan was to stream for about an hour this morning between 8 and 9 Eastern Standard Time for YouTube. I start earlier and stream longer for members at Warrior Trading, but I thought I'd give you guys a little taste of what it's like here. At this point, what we would need for another trade would be either ASTC to squeeze through the highs, or a completely fresh stock to pop up. We've definitely had some good momentum this morning, so it's not impossible that something else could pop up at 9 a.m., but I'm not totally sure the likelihood of that. Reminder for those of you guys tuning in, you've got to manage your risk on these. These are all highly volatile. They can go up very quickly. They can drop back down very quickly. It's very easy to get on the wrong side of them. I'm on the wrong side of MNTS this morning. But so ISPC hitting a scanner there. You see how that pops up. This is a healthcare company. I don't see any fresh catalyst on it right now. So for the moment, just sitting tight. Sometimes you'll have stocks like this that pop up, and when the market's kind of warm or a little hotter, traders will sometimes jump on anything moving. But I try to be a little careful about that. The type of trading I do is called momentum trading, and I'm basically getting in and out very quickly. I'm looking for quick breakouts. I like to buy dips, but I also buy breakouts. I'll buy stocks literally at high a day and look to take profit, if they have 10, 15 cents higher. So, when I'm trading, and those of you guys who go through the classes, you learn that as soon as I'm in, I'm also looking for my exit. These are very fast trades. Some of them I'll hold longer, but a lot of them, if I enter at the right spot, it should work almost immediately. So as of right now, at 39,400 in money raised for the Navajo Nation, donating to hospitals that service people on the reservation, and to an organization that's working on expanding access to clean drinking water. Now, you guys who have hit the thumbs up are now at 2,800 thumbs up. So each of those is going to add an extra dollar to how much I donate. So that'll put us at about $42,000 here this morning. I mentioned earlier I have a goal this year of donating to a children's hospital in every state in the country.
If it gets above
And I'm
7,
at about
I'm
21
interested, but I'm
states
waiting
right
for
now.
the MACD to be
I've got a
positive.
few more to go, but donated to hospitals here on this trip, which I thought were important. So let's see, we got Sage Memorial Navajo Hospital, that's for Arizona, Colorado Children's Hospital in Aurora, Connecticut Children's, Nemours Children's in Delaware, Shriners Children's in Florida, already donated to those, Maine Health Barbara Bush Children's in Portland, Maine, John Hopkins Children's in Baltimore, Boston Children's, Boston, Dartmouth Children's in Lebanon, New Hampshire, Bristol Myers Squibb Children's in New Jersey, Northern Navajo Medical in New Mexico, Morgan Stanley Children's in New York, North Dakota Stanford Children's Hospital in Fargo, Nationwide Children's in Columbus, Ohio, Children's Hospital of Philadelphia, Rhode Island Hasbro Children's Hospital, St. Jude's Children's Hospital in Tennessee, Texas Children's Hospital, Utah Navajo Health Systems, UVM Children's Hospital in Vermont, the Hospital of the King's Daughters in Virginia, and WVU Medicine Children's Hospital in Morgantown, West Virginia. And those are the 22 that I've donated to as of today. So throughout the year, we'll continue to, each week, I figured one a week, $5,000 a week, $250,000 this year, more or less. Some have donated a little bit more, but we'll get there by the end of the year.
I just need the MACD to be negative, to be positive.
And this is just the initiative here for this year, but at this point, I've donated millions of dollars to charity. I'm grateful for the success I've had, and I like to be able to pay it forward. I think it's great to be able to take a little money off Wall Street and give it back to people who would not otherwise be able to get it. Now, ASTC here, as this curls back up, this could present a trap. I could be wrong, but the MACD is negative, the volume has declined. It's tempting to get in here, but I think I'm gonna hold off on that.
Just waiting right now.
So now that it's 9:01, the opportunity for another headline to come out at 9 has pretty much come and gone. I mean, usually if you have breaking news, the stock will pop up immediately. And so since that hasn't happened here at 9, I'm thinking that we're not going to have another catalyst. which means trading for the rest of the open, or for the rest of the pre-market session and into the open, will just be based on what we currently have as our leading gainers. ASTC and a couple penny stocks, AMSS, but that's pulled back too much. So some people continue to fight it out on ASTC, and it might grind higher. Maybe shorts get trapped and it does end up pulling away. Hard to say for me. I usually find that the clean price action is typically right after the breaking news comes out, which is why I start trading earlier. I start at 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. That way I can be here when the news actually does come out, rather than sitting down at 9:30. Even though the market opens at 9:30, pre-market begins actually as early as 4 a.m. But most brokers don't allow trading before 7. So now, as I've mentioned already a couple times, I'm going to be starting a new small account challenge next week, resetting my account to $2,000 and using a U.S. broker, which
Do you
will
guys see how the
be
line I put is
allowed
like
because the pattern day
resistance?
trader rule is
1, 2,
going away as
and
of
right
June 4th.
here it's gonna be resistance. So
So if you haven't already
also MACD is negative.
thought about that, it's something to
It
consider.
broke this line.
So I am watching this up here. This is risky. I will tell you, this is a riskier position if I take it. But just watching.
I just
to
want
see
the
if this
MACD to be
squeezes through. Now,
positive,
because
then
the
I'm
MACD
interested.
is negative,
Unless
that's
it
going
breaks
against
this
this trade.
pivot.
It's decent volume there.
We got more volume, so volume is increasing. Oh my god.
So see, it pushes up, but only for a second. Now,
Double
are we
top.
going to see any big sellers come out, or might we see a big buyer?
Wow, double top and rejection.
Saw a big buy. We've seen big sellers on this. And we already looked at the financials on this earlier. We saw they have a shelf registration, which gives them the right to raise more money.
We got resistance at
It's
8,
a little
so I'm
unusual
adding
to have this kind
801.
of curl while the MACD is negative.
MACD is turning green. It's turning like other way, so that's nice. I'm just waiting
So
to
I
break
give it
the
a chance to
resistance
fail.
at 8,
Let it fail,
and I
then let
think
it
we can
prove
go
itself.
up like
You see that little
high
shooting
amount.
star candle with the topping tail? I don't really like that.
Let's see what it does. This setup doesn't work
So
on
since we're
like
sort of
before
coming,
9:10. I'm not
closer and
interested.
closer to the opening bell,
I'm not
I
gonna
also
be waiting all
do
day
think
for
about
a
my
setup.
risk and not wanting, to give back too much profit. Because if I do, I might not have a chance at recouping that loss.
So waiting right now. MACD is turning
I really
green.
wish the MACD was positive. I'd feel much better about it. So about 25 minutes to the opening bell. We're now at 3,100 thumbs up here on YouTube. So that'll put us up at $43,000 that I'll donate today.
And then it rejects. I think
So
that's
it
it
seems like
for
there's
today.
a seller kind of pushing it back
For me.
down, and we don't know what that seller's doing. We don't know if
I
that
just
seller
think
is
right now there's no more
tied in with a
trades or
company and
no
they're selling
more
shares to raise money, or
like
if that seller is
ways or edge for me to
an
earn
insider. I
to
mean,
be more
it's a
positive.
short seller. We don't really know, but we do see the presence of a large seller. And yet the stock is up 191%. I would say one of the biggest lessons in trading is to know when to take your profit. I look at this 5-minute chart and I see
Another green
topping
day.
tails.
We're positive for the
I see that
month.
it squeezes
We're just
up,
missing 2
but
days.
then that upper candle wick right there right there, and right there. Following the upper candle wicks, we get a pullback.
What if I don't trade these 2 days
Look,
and
this might work
I'm
later,
positive?
but I think the cleanest trades,
No.
you know, we're kind of right in this area. And now with the Mac.
Well, I think I'm gonna go. Thank you guys for watching this. I'm gonna do a recap right now. So, see you guys later.